Alrighty. Hello everyone, my name is Hans Campbell, and tonight I'm working on a customer's Amiga 500 computer. And the problem with this computer is green screen, which is usually memory or ROM related. Sometimes it's the Agnes chip, sometimes it's the data path chips, multiplexers, things like that. Anyway, let's get going. I already removed the screws for the top cover, so we're going to remove that. You get a copy of the video too. Okay. Then unplug the keyboard. You don't like tugging on the wires, but sometimes that's the only way to get these off. Alrighty. Okay, so well, I don't want nothing happening to that. You know what? Let's lay it right there. Okay. Oh man, I hate bending these tabs back and forth. Zane's here with me, so he might chip in from time to time. See, that one's ready to break off. Yeah, what we should do is just break these off and just put this back on, because the screws will hold it on, you know. Okay, let's see. This side. Okay, so well, I'm busy removing these screws. I want to give a shout out to, I think his name's Jan Beta, the German guy that does similar videos. I like to watch your videos, they're pretty cool. Can't be helped. It's just the way it is. Okay, so here's the shield. Okay, alright, we've got the board, or got the board now. Okay, let's remove power cable and floppy drive cable. Okay. Okay, there's the disk drive, in case you all want to see what the disk drive looked like. This is one of the higher quality ones. Looks like it's a Panasonic. Yeah, Matsushita. It's Panasonic, made in Japan. Very high quality drive, very heavy, very well made chassis. I mean, just look at all the metal and brass in there. It's really nice. They don't make drives like that anymore. Alrighty, now to pull the motherboard out. It's usually clipped on this piece of plastic back here. Okay, so there's the motherboard. Okay, so now we got to remove the shield. I got a special tool for that. These can be stubborn from time to time. Now, because of the fine threads on these, you do not want to put a lot of torque on them when you put them back in. You can easily strip out the threads. Yeah. Okay. Alright. There's that. I think it's all else. Got an RGB port. Okay, so take the motherboard out of the shield. Come on. Ow. I don't care if you can cut yourself on this. Okay, cut yourself. Alrighty. There we go. Okay, while I got this board out here, I want to show you guys something. Okay, whenever you get a new Amiga 500 or an Amiga 2000 computer, these two capacitors right here usually should be replaced. These are called the audio coupling capacitors. And because the audio is not connected directly to the audio stage, it's this output here is hooked up to the audio stage by these coupling capacitors right here. Okay, and these go bad over time. So if one or both of your channels go out, or if it's lacking in volume, or it sounds like it's distorted or whatever, these caps here should be replaced. The other two caps that need to be replaced are these. Now these are normally 3,300 microfarad. I think they're 10 volt. Yeah, they're 10 volt. I would recommend replacing them with 1,000 microfarad, 16 volt, which is what is used in the Amiga 500 Plus. I guess Commodore decided that you don't really need huge 3,300 microfarad caps like these. So I would just recommend replacing them with 1,000 microfarad, 16 volt. And when you replace these capacitors, replace them with caps that are either made in Japan or the United States. So let's continue on. Okay, the main problem with this board here, what's giving us the green screen, it could either be the memory chips. Okay, it could be these memory chips, or it could be one of these two chips here. It could also be the Agnes chip. Sometimes the contacts in here are not making good enough contact. They corrode or oxidize over time. That could happen. But in this case, it's the Kickstart ROM socket. So we're going to replace that socket and put in a high quality dual wipe contact IC socket. These are very high quality. Okay, so I'm going to need, let's see. Actually, I better use the correct tool. I don't want you guys doing things the wrong way. That's the proper tool right there. It's a chip extractor, IC extraction tool. Okay, So we just put it on like this. And there you go. It's just that easy, boys and girls. Just that easy. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. I'll put it back. Okay. Alrighty, let's get to desoldering. What the problem is Commodore, they use, I guess to save a few pennies per assembly, they use these very low quality 40-pin sockets. And this is what's causing the problem with the Kickstart, sometimes not making contact, and of course gives you the green screen. So we're going to remove that. I gotta get my goggles. I gotta get my goggles. Okay. Now I can see. Alright, let's get going. Okay, so it's going to be this chip here. Bring that over there. I need my solder sucker. And we're going to get busy here. Okay. God, I wish I had a desoldering machine. Make this so much easier. Problem with some of this is when you get on these huge ground planes and ground planes and voltage planes, they can be hard to desolder. There's so much metal around the lead. But there's ways to deal with that. Okay. Going good. So far, so good. Okay. She's looking really good. Glad I bought this new solder sucker. It's better than the old one. So now, tweezers and make sure these are free. For not, I gotta go back over them. Come on. Okay, that one's free. Those aren't. I was just. Yeah, you want to make sure these are free before you start pulling that socket, because if you don't, it can pull the trace right off the board. important to make sure these wiggle in the hole. Okay, so the one that's not wiggling. Okay, this side's almost done. Do the other side is ready to pull socket. Okay, so sometimes what you have to do is add a little bit of solder to remove solder. Just like that. Okay, looks good. It's actually going pretty quick. Okay, that rocks in the hole. That's good. That one's good. Okay. Those I have to deal with separately. Alright, turn the board around. And, okay, so... okay. Alright, that's good. Okay. Almost done. And the hard part will be done. Yeah, I know. I make this look easy. You know, these leads, sometimes they stick to the side, and you just have to heat them up and unstick them like that one. Being stubborn. Okay, that's good. So, alrighty, so now what we're going to do, I have to heat. This one ground plane is being stubborn. It can happen. Well, I get it out. No problem. Add a little bit of solder and bump up the temperature to about around 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I did bump up the temperature. Okay, that seems to be working. There we go. Okay, that's the piece of crap socket. So, okay, I need to get cotton. Alright, a very good thing for cleaning boards is these 100% cotton pads that women use for makeup, for removing their makeup or fingernail polish or whatever. They're 100% cotton, so they don't generate static electricity. And alcohol I'm using is 99%, which is what we use in the electronics industry. And it's a good idea just to wipe down those solder connections before soldering on a new part. Okay, might as well clean up around the board around here. Yeah, I'm sure Agnes will appreciate it. See? Dirt coming off. Okay, so another thing what I have to do is get the solder sucked up, but I couldn't get out of those holes. I'm going to have to use solder wick for that. I might even have to use liquid flux. Okay, that one's done. Thought I had all my tools available. Alright. Where am I at? Where the hell am I at? Over here. Okay, and that looks good. You don't want to apply too much heat because you can damage the traces that way. Yeah, once you get over 650 degrees Fahrenheit, then you gotta start watching it. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that a little more. Actually, I'll wait until after I finish soldering on the new socket. Then I'll clean it. Yeah. Okay, let's solder on the new socket. This is the new one. Pin 1 is up there. It's marked on the circuit board. So you want to make sure the socket's in the same direction. Look at that beautiful, high quality Kickstart ROM socket. Okay, what I usually do to hold it in place is I take a little bit of masking tape. Yeah, I know. Some of you think it generates static electricity, but it don't. It's made out of paper, so it's fine. It's paper with sticky stuff on it. It's fine. Use it for years in the electronics industry. And what we're going to do is we're just going to tack it in for now before we do the main soldering. Alright, tack this baby in. Okay, lower the temperature back down. Okay, we don't want to do the normal leads at high temperature. Okay, we'll tack in that one. And that one. Alright, now we'll remove the tape. Okay, and we'll make sure that is... It's important that you make sure these sockets are firmly seated, because if you don't, when you try to push the chip in, it can actually push the pads away from the board on the other side. So it's important that you make sure the socket is on the board. Okay, so again it is. Okay, so that's ready to solder in. It's in the correct orientation. Alright, let's get going here. Solder this baby in place. Now I'll save those ground planes. I'll show you guys a little secret how we do it in the industry. Makes it a lot easier. Okay. By the time I finish, it'll look like the factory did it. Okay, now for the huge ground planes. Bump up the temperature just a little bit, and to make the heat flow through the board better, we'll use 1 drop of liquid flux per hole. So do not use too much liquid flux. 1 drop there, 1 drop there, 1 drop there. This is some sticky stuff. So you gotta make sure you clean the tip when you're done. Alright. Okay, so now, yeah, I know. I'm left-handed with my soldering iron. It looks weird. But I've been doing it this way for 25 years, so. Okay, one of these pads is. Yep, just flows right in there like it should. Look at that. Okay. Okay, that's it. Now to clean the board, we're done. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the proper way of cleaning these boards, cleaning circuit boards. These are called Kim wipes. And they're like a fiberglass paper, type of paper. And what we do, here's the alcohol. First get this wet. Okay, and then stick the Kim wipe on there. And the Kim wipe will absorb not only the alcohol, but it'll pull the flux up with it. It's important that you clean the flux off this board, because even though it's no clean flux, it can still corrode the board over time and mess up the traces. Okay, we do it again. Usually it takes 2 or 3 times to do this. This is how we do it professionally in the electronics industry. This is how we do it professionally. And as you can see, it turns out pretty good. Nice and clean, just like the factory did that. Do it one more time. Okay, let that dry and it's done. And then I take a makeup brush. These work great for this. And we do this to make sure there's no solder flakes on there. Get it off the board. Okay. Alright. And as you can see, looks pretty, almost like the factory did it. Anyway. Alright, now let's plug in the Kickstart ROM. Let's use this. Okay. Make sure it's the correct orientation. Both of these NECs? Oh wow, you originally had an NEC one in there, so that's a good chip. Yeah, that goes in nice and tight and snug. I guarantee you, you ain't gonna have no problems with that Kickstart ROM now. Yeah. Yeah, that goes in pretty good. Yeah, looks like the factory did it. Shoot. Looks pretty good. Yep. Okay. The only thing left to do now is to take a cotton pad, since I got the board out, and clean these card edge fingers right here. They oxidize, so they need to be cleaned once in a while. Okay, flip it over. Alrighty, another thing that I usually recommend people doing is the outside of these connectors here are made out of steel, and they have a tendency to oxidize and rust. So what I usually recommend doing is take cotton swabs and spray a little bit of WD-40 on them and squeeze it out. You want it sopping wet. And just go around each one of these connectors with that cotton swab that has WD-40 on it. And that puts a very thin coating on the outside of these connectors. It conditions the metal, and it keeps them from rusting or oxidizing. It's especially important for these audio connectors, because on a lot of these boards I've worked on through the years, these have definitely been rusted. And so, yeah, they need to be wiped. You can do that with the board inside the case as well. So, okay, we're going to put this computer back together. Come on, get in there. There you go. Okay. On these, you don't want to use the handle. Snug them like this. You do not want to over tighten these. They stroke real easy. So, Yeah, this motherboard is in pretty good shape. I've seen them a lot worse. I mean, you have to remember, the Rev 5 Amiga 500 computers came out like what, 1987, 86? Yeah, 87 and 88. And they didn't come out with the Rev 6 ones till around 89 or 90. Yeah, a lot of these are made out of aluminum, so they strip real easy. The steel ones aren't so bad, but the aluminum ones, Come on, get in there. One of these is missing. I think it'd be better to have both of those on the RGB port. That's the most important port. More important than these other ones. You want them on the floppy one and the RGB port for sure, and the mouse and joystick connectors, which they're on. I mean, I don't know if too many people still use the serial port and parallel port. Although the parallel port's good for digitizing, DigiView and digitizing and stuff like that. Okay, so come on in. Don't use the handle. Okay. Alright. Another good idea is to wipe down, use a cotton rag, spray WD-40 on it, wipe down this metal shielding all the way around to keep it from oxidizing, and then wipe it again with a clean cotton rag. You want cotton because cotton does not generate static electricity. So that's why you want 100% cotton. Okay, there we go. Okay, now first thing we need to do is put the drive back in, which is right here. I'll take this out for now. Now to give you guys another tip. Okay, the Amiga computer, especially the 500 and the 2000, they were designed and made in Germany. So they use all metric hardware. The smaller bolts are 3mm. The larger ones, mainly on the 2000, are 4mm. So what I would recommend doing is go to your local Ace Hardware, getting a little bit longer of this 3mm screw here, or bolt. And then, let me find one. You can buy these little small fender washers. Little small fender washer. Okay? And you put this there, and then the bolt. And the, well, you know, this grounding lug on the outside of that fender washer, then the bolt. And that adds more surface area on the outside of that plastic. It keeps that plastic from breaking or squishing or whatever. So I highly recommend putting one of these on. And it makes that drive more stable. Okay, so now I gotta put the actual bolts on. Okay. Again, these are aluminum. They're 3mm, so you don't want to over tighten. Okay. Now we'll put the shield on, top shield. Before I do that, it's a good idea. I have the special pliers. These are called flat nose pliers. You can get these from on the internet or just about anywhere that sells good tools. And I usually flatten these. It makes putting the top shield on easier. You can also use this for straightening out the leads on integrated circuits so they go into sockets easier. Okay. Alright, let's put that top shield on.
Don't forget the drive cable.
Huh? Oh yeah! Okay, Zane. I'm glad you were here. Keep me on my toes.
That was really disappointing.
Do all that work and oh man, it don't work. What the? God, I'm glad you saw that. Hey, well, I'm 61 years old now, so my brain is not as sharp as it used to be. Okay, so that's all in there. Okay, anything else? Looks like it's all good. Okay, let's get this put back on. Yeah, this is one of those higher quality Panasonic drives. These are really good. Good drives. Back when they made that drive, they were so, you know, the average price for a disk drive was around $300 for one like this. Yeah, they were not cheap back then. Very expensive. Okay, so yeah, this one's probably going to break off when I bend it back over. Let me see. Yeah. Well, it's kind of squishy. I don't know if I should trust her. Okay, so there's that. And we're going to go ahead and put the keyboard back on. This keyboard is in pretty nice shape, considering how old this computer is. Pretty nice shape. A lot of them, when they're this old, they're really smooth and shiny. The tops of the keys. Okay. forgot one thing. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Wake up. Do a good job. You're on camera, I know. It makes you nervous. Oh well. Okay, I forgot. Got to put these in. Alright. I'm surprised you didn't say anything.
No, that one I didn't notice. When you said it, I was thinking, okay, what did he forget?
Yep. Okay, so... want to get it done right the first time. These are T10 by the way. And you want to use something small like this because these screws are going in the plastic and you don't want to take chances on stripping them. If you use something that has like a full-size handle that has the things that go in, you know, it's too much torque and there's a chance you'll strip that plastic out. You really need to invest in screwdrivers like these. These are made in Germany, but you can get them, you know, all over. So. Yeah, you want to invest. If you're going to be working on Amiga computers, Commodore 64 and all that, you really need to invest in a set of screwdrivers like this. Black with the red handle. These are really nice. I think the company is I can't read that. Okay, W-I-H-A, made in Germany. Yeah, you get a set of these. These are very nice. That screwdriver anymore. I need this one. Is it still recording? Yeah, still recording. I'll get my ugly mug in the shot. Okay, put that in like that. Just snug them, do not over tighten. Can't stress that enough. Okay. Okay, now we can put the keyboard on. And I don't think that you'll be getting any more green screens. Not with that high quality socket. Commodore should have used those kind of sockets to begin with. Okay, so that's in there. That's in there. Oh man, this is a pain in the butt putting this in. What the hell? Okay, that's in there. Making sure it's in there. Okay, I think that's in there. Okay, it's seated. Now we'll put the top on. I just love the style of the Amiga 500 case. I mean, to me, I can see why this was nicknamed the Ferrari of the Amiga computers, because it's just so cool. It's got that classic wedge shape. It's just so cool. Okay, now, these screws, they may appear to be the same size, but the ones that go on the front, they're actually shorter. And if you use the ones that go on the back, it will create like a little, you know, indentation in the front that won't look too good. So don't get those screws mixed up. Okay, so Yeah, this computer is not in bad shape considering it's from 1987, 88. It's not in bad shape. I've seen them a lot worse. Dead giveaway is the feet. See how clean these feet are. Not hardly any dirt at all on them. Good clean. Okay. Usually start with the center one first and work your way out when you're assembling these cases. Okay, that's it. This Commodore 64 is now repaired and it will work beautifully. Well, my name is Hans George Campbell, and until next time.